Muy bien, amigos de YouTube, tenemos una entrevista nueva, un artista de los 80, plenos 80, vamos a estar viajando en el tiempo con él. Vamos a estar hablando con Bill Badams del grupo Animotion, un grupo que la rompió a mitad de los 80 con un hit llamado Obsession. Así que, welcome, Bill, welcome to my YouTube channel, and thank you very much for your
Gracias.
time.
Gracias, mi amigo.
You say to me that you're trying to learn Spanish. So, how many words do you know?
12.
I love your hat. I love your hat.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, you are like a big artist from the 80s, you know. I watch in VH1 that your song is like a one-hit wonder. It was a great success. But do you feel that Obsession is like the best song of Animotion, in your opinion?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because when the band was formed,
Yeah.
I was the only writer in the band. I would write the songs. But when we got our record contract and we were recording our album, a producer said, I have a song from outside of the band. Someone else wrote a song that I think would be good for you. It's called Obsession.
Yeah.
And played it for me on the telephone.
Oh.
And the original version, the lyrics written by someone named Michael Des-Barres. And in the original recording, Michael Des-Barres is speaking, not singing. You are an obsession. I cannot sleep, And I thought, you want me to do a song where I'm not even singing, I'm just speaking? And we had a little argument about this, and then he allowed me to sing. And if you listen to that record, you can hear speaking and singing at the same time. So on the albums that I'm on, I love the songs that I wrote. I mean, Obsession is a great song, and it's been a wonderful vehicle for us to be able to travel and to meet people, and it's opened a lot of doors for us. But on the first album, there's a song called Everything's Leading to You. And that was very personal to me. It was about everything is leading to the way my life is opening up, and I could feel you from so far away, coming closer to me day by day. Those are words that are very personal to me.
Yeah.
So, and then when I first heard Obsession, it said, I am a possession, unopened at your feet. And I thought, that's not me. That's not how I want to be seen in a relate. But it's okay, it's all in good fun. And when Astrid and I sing it, we have a lot of fun. We play with each other on stage, kind of like what we call cat and mouse, just kind of chasing each other around the stage. It's a fun song to sing.
Don't count on me.
What do you miss more from the 80s?
It's hard to say. I mean, I'm right now I can look back at the 80s. When I was in the 80s, I miss like the excitement of looking towards the 90s, looking towards 2000. I miss that Prince isn't around anymore. I miss Prince. There's other musicians that I miss. I miss Robert Palmer.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful artist. So it was a lot of fun back then.
Yeah, I can imagine that. But in your personal opinion, if you could go back in time, would you change something of your life or your career?
Yes, I would. I mean, wouldn't we all in some respects? Now, after the second album,
Yeah.
I was upset with the people in the record company that were making decisions about us. So I quit. I left. And looking back now, I think Well, what they wanted me to do was to sing more songs that I didn't write. And my ego got in the way. I'm like, no, I'm a songwriter. I'm an artist. I want to sing my songs. Now, looking back, if I had gone along with what they wanted,
Yeah.
they went on to Animotion did a third album with a song called Room to Move, which was a top 10 song. And so I look back and I think, was it not enough for me to sing a hit song? I'm a singer.
Yeah.
So that part of me could have been satisfied singing another hit song, and maybe the career would have gone a bit further. But I let my personal emotions get in the way, and I quit the band. And then I had a hard time, I had a hard time convincing someone that I should have a solo career. And so I was submitting songs, and at some points, there were some producers that wanted to work with me, and it looked like I was going to go forward, but there's so many things that have to happen for you to actually be a successful musician. And it's not just about your voice or your songs. It's about so many factors and even luck. And I think Animotion was very lucky with the success we had. And so looking back, I might have stayed longer and accepted the role that they were giving me, and knowing that it can change over time.
Looking forward, it's hard being there with a one-hit wonder, because maybe some artists have, Obsession or Funky Town, for example, Lip Sync, big hits. But then when you try to work with a second hit, you feel that it's not the same. It's very hard to just have a second great hit, worldwide. What's your opinion about that?
Well, I've thought a lot about this. And first of all, the Billboard magazine follows the bands and has the Hot 100 chart. So that's the main chart, those charts. And Billboard says the definition of a hit is something that enters the top 40. It's in the top 40 songs.
Oh.
Okay, so technically, our second release, Let Him Go, which is a song I wrote, got to number 39. So on the first album, technically, according to Billboard, we have 2 hits. And then after I left, Animotion, as I just mentioned, had a number 9 top 10 hit with Room to Move. So Animotion had 3 hits technically, but I know that people regard Obsession as far away the big hit, and that's cool. At one point, someone said to my keyboard player, Greg, how do you feel about One Hit Wonder? He said, well, it's great. They don't have TV shows about 2-hit wonders.
Yeah, it's true.
So we've been invited to play TV shows, to be on VH1 again, to do all kinds of things because we're regarded as a one-hit wonder,
Yeah.
So
Well, I was saying that you had another new album, a few years ago. We were talking about that because Race, I can see here in Spotify, Race, and I say to you that I love that song called Everything. I love it so much. I don't know if you have any idea or if you are thinking about new stuff. I want to know that.
Sure. I loved recording that album. I was writing a lot with our original lead guitarist, whose name is Don Kirkpatrick. And Don has been in Rod Stewart's band, touring with Rod Stewart for the last 20 years. And the musical director for Rod Stewart's band is a guy named Chuck Kentis. And so Chuck produced this album, and we recorded it in his studio, and he's just a marvelous keyboard player. And so it really felt great to be working on that album. We started writing in Las Vegas. We went to the Caesar's Palace because Rod Stewart was in residence playing there. And so we were recording in a hotel room in Las Vegas.
Wow.
And as we looked out over the desert, the Mirage Hotel out there has a huge mural of the Beatles, the four Beatles faces. And I was just looking at that. They inspired me to start music, when I was a little kid. So I was looking out there, looking at the Paul McCartney and John and George and Paul, Ringo. And it was really, it felt wonderful.
Wow.
Well, we're not thinking about a new album right at the moment. We're concentrating on playing live, touring. I've been working on a one-man theatrical performance, like a one-man show. Springsteen did a wonderful one-man show on Broadway. It's similar to that, where telling stories, singing the songs of my life, and I've been working on it for a few years. I've performed a few times, and I'm developing it.
Wow, nice. Going back again for Anymotion, I want to know why the name Anymotion.
Sure. When we were forming, Astrid said she was looking for a name, and she said, I was looking in the dictionary and I came upon the word animation, and I said, you didn't get very far in the dictionary. I'm on animation, and I thought, what if we changed it to Animotion? And I'm thinking it's like an emotion, the way you feel, like emotion, and we're animated when we play, right? So it's like animated, Animotion, and I said, okay, Astrid, that works. So it's Astrid came up with the name.
Oh, wow. They start with a dictionary.
Yes, right.
Oh, great. Well, you say that the song Obsession, they sang on the telephone to you.
Yes.
Who wrote the lyrics, and who composed the song?
Right. It was Holly Knight wrote the music, and Michael Day Barr wrote the lyrics. Now, Holly wrote a number of songs for Tina Turner and Scandal. She wrote, I Am the Warrior or something for Scandal. If you Google Holly Knight, Knight, you'll find she is a massive hit writer.
Wow.
So she did really well. She also had a band of her own called Device, Device. She was working in a studio in Los Angeles, and then they brought in Michael Day Barr and said, listen to this, do you have some lyrics? And Michael had become sober after having had some addictions, and this song Obsession is more about addiction than it is a man or woman relationship.
Wow.
You think about it, someone who's trying to kick a habit saying, and the drug is saying, I will find a way to have you. I will pull you back in. And so he was trying to, he had kicked a habit, and he was writing about how addictions try to pull you back in. It was, and it was in a movie called A Night in Heaven. It was, I don't know what year it was, maybe 1981 or something. And Holly and Michael had a version of Obsession in a movie. And you can, if you Google Obsession, A Night in Heaven, you'll find that version.
You are an obsession. I cannot sleep. I am a possession, unopened at your feet.
Wow. Well, so it's not an example of fast music, because they took a few years, to work with.
No, that's right. And it was actually, I think they may have released it as a single, and it was not successful. When it came to us, one of the things that we did was we added bump, bum, 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 bum. We added that hook. It wasn't on there before. And matter of fact, Holly and Michael did not particularly like it when they heard it. They thought, oh,
Oh,
that's, I think in interviews, Holly will say, oh, I thought it was cheesy. I thought it was, gimmick or something. But as time passed, she came to like it, if for no other reason that it made her a lot of money.
if you want to send any message to all your fans, not only in United States, I think that this is your opportunity.
Okay. Yeah, the message is that I thank everyone who has enjoyed the music of Animotion, anyone who's danced to Obsession or come to a show or listened to our new album, anybody who cares, because as an artist, it's not enough to sit in a room by myself and play. I mean, I enjoy that, but when I'm able to share the experience of making music with others, that's when it's fulfilling to me. So I owe so much to people that care about the music that we play and sing. So I'm very grateful to you and to your listeners, to your fans, to people that care about music and in particular care about Animotion and Bill Wadhams.
Great, Dad. Maybe one day in the future you came here to visit Argentina, who knows?
I would love to. I really would.
So nice, so nice. Well, thank you very much. Muchas gracias for your time. It was a pleasure, an honor. Huh?
De nada. Is that right?
Yeah, that was right. Perfecto,
Okay.
perfect.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. I wish you the best. Just keep in touch, okay?
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Oh, bye-bye.